Consider for a minute that 40% of people have left a job because they didn't have access to the latest digital technologies to do their jobs effectively. 58% of people said that they would need to find a new job to level up their digital skills. Now, these are statistics that came from Randstad USA. So clearly it's in your interest and it's in your team's best interest and your organization's best interest to make sure that you have the right tools and technologies so that you can work effectively. Many organizations that have strong technology initiatives actually involve employees in the process of figuring out the best technologies that they should be using. And we see this in a lot of different organizations, whether you look at an organization like Cisco or PwC or EY or many other organizations out there. The most effective ones are those who actually involve employees in the process of figuring out the technologies that they should be using. So if you're a manager or an executive inside of your organization, this isn't just about getting together with your executive team or with your IT team and picking the technologies for other people. You actually want to involve employees in the process. And the same thing is true if you're managing a smaller team as well. Try to get feedback, try to get opinions, try to get perspectives from other employees inside of your organization around the technologies they think will benefit them the most. Hartman Executive Advisors conducts employee surveys, they do focus groups, they do one-on-one meetings, and they're constantly collecting data from their employees around the best technologies that employees actually want to use on a day-to-day basis. Consider some of the technologies that you use in your personal life. You might use something like Gmail. You might use something like Dropbox. You might have a voice-activated Amazon Echo. You might have all sorts of social media platforms that you use. You might have messaging applications. And think about how easy it is for you to do things like communicate with people, share information, and just kind of stay on top of what's going on in your life. And think about what it would be like if you had similar technologies that you could use inside of your organization. How much easier would it be for you to get your stuff done? This is why organizations around the world are really focusing on using consumer-grade technologies. Consumer-grade technologies are tools that are so beautiful, so useful, and so valuable that you would consider using something similar in your personal life if it existed. So think about this. Have you ever shown up to work and thought, man, the tools and technologies I'm using at work are so amazing and wonderful and beautiful that I wish there was something like this that I could use in my personal life? For many people, the answer is no, but thankfully we are starting to see this change quite a bit. For example, the Royal Bank of Scotland uses the business version of Facebook called Facebook at Work. And they deployed this to over 100,000 employees across the organization. And the idea and rationale here was that people get Facebook. They understand how to use it. It's simple to use. Why not give employees something that easy and beautiful and useful inside of our organization so that it becomes that much easier for them to work and communicate and collaborate and to share information. Another large organization, Roche, they use G Suites because they found that a lot of their employees are using Google products in their personal lives. And so the rationale was, hey, if they're so used to using Google at home, why not give them something similar inside of our organization as well? This is the idea and the rationale behind consumer-grade technologies. And some of you probably watching this are thinking, oh man, you should see the outdated file sharing system that I use, or the outdated billing or invoicing or collaboration technologies that I use. And this is a huge pain point that I keep hearing about from employees and from managers inside of organizations. So this is kind of the concept and the idea of consumer-grade technologies. How do we make it feel like when we show up to work, we're in the same year that we live in? Because think about what happens. We live in 2018 or 19 or 20, whenever you're watching this video, but when you show up to work, you kind of feel like you've been teleported back to the 70s or the 80s, don't you? And again, we want to make sure that we can close that gap so the technologies that employees are using actually reflect the year that we live in. Athena and I hope you enjoyed that. If you want more content like that, check out futureofworkpodcast.com. And do me a favor, please review the podcast on Apple Podcasts or whatever your preferred channel is. Thank you very much.